All right, just a little rundown of who we are. We are an RSO. Our goal is to educate and introduce the SDSU community to adaptive sports. We've already helped build the first ever collegiate level adaptive sports program here on the West Coast in California, and that is our SDSU Adapted Athletics, and we already have athletes for that. Our overall mission is to ensure students of all levels of abilities to have access to fitness and athletic programming, from recreational to elite here at San Diego State, and have a community of support around them.
That's me. So just a quick, as far as our program is related, we currently have track and field consisting of ambulatory sprinters and throwers. We also have a wheelchair tennis team, who Steve Baldwin, our guest, is one of our coaches of, so we'd like to welcome him. And right now, I believe we have 9 athletes. Could be a few more. But that is currently our program side. We offer everything from academic support to, well, obviously training, and our physical therapy program at San Diego State has also begun to get involved with the athletes. So we're trying to be the most well-rounded program we can be.
So just to add on to that really quick, we just included this slide to make a distinction between Aztec Adaptive Sports, which is us, we are the RSO, and SDSU Adapted Athletics, which is the actual athletics program here at SDSU. It was actually started by the founders of our organization, and we're continuing to grow. We refer to this as the program side. We're just going to introduce ourselves. My name is Madeline Nelson. I'm the Vice President of Aztec Adaptive Sports. I'm a nursing major. I'm a 4th year. And I joined this org because I was a swim teacher and a lifeguard in high school and through into college a little bit. And I actually got the opportunity to be able to teach children and adults with special needs. And when I saw that this was an organization here at SDSU, I was really excited to participate. So I hope you guys can share some of the same experiences that I have.
Hi, I'm Caroline. I'm the treasurer of Aztec Adaptive Sports. I'm also Madeline's roommate, which is why we're together right now. I'm also a 4th year nursing major, and I just joined this club because I wanted to get more involved on campus, and it seems like the most interesting option.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm the Media Marketing Officer. I am a 2nd year kinesiology major, and I joined just because the organization seemed really close-knit, and it seemed like a great group of people and really interesting things to learn about.
Hi, my name is Harari Watanabe. I am a kinesiology major, also a 4th year. I joined AAS because growing up in San Diego, there was another organization who I used to play sports with, and they're called Sports for Exceptional Athletes, and they also play like all sorts of varieties of sports with students with special needs. And so seeing that there was a program on campus similar to Madeline that like kind of hit close to home was really nice. So that's why I participated in this club.
Hi everyone, I'm Taylor Santos. I'm the events coordinator. I'm a 4th year kinesiology major pre-PT. See why I joined. It's just a really well-rounded community, and I want to get more involved. I feel like the adaptive community, especially in sports, is often overlooked. So I wanted to just get more involved and spread awareness about this community.
Hi, I'm Remy. I'm the secretary for this year. I'm a 3rd year kinesiology pre-physical therapy major. And I joined this club because I really like volunteering and helping people and feeling like I'm making a difference. So I thought that this club would be a really good way to be exposed to a different type of volunteering experience than I would usually get in other service-based clubs.
Hi everyone, I'm Peter. I'm the president of Aztec Adaptive Sports. I'm a 3rd year kinesiology major. here at San Diego State. Yes, I did get a haircut as compared to this picture that I have. I joined AAS because I met the president 2 years ago, and I kind of just fell in love with the community, and it gave me a great opportunity to learn about the adaptive community and learn about fitness, which is one of my passions, and also feel like I was helping out people and helping a good cause. So I'm very happy to be president for a second year, and I'm glad to get this program, to help this program grow.
Okay, so one of the things that we did last year was we held sitting volleyball practices, and sitting volleyball is pretty much what it sounds like. You're playing volleyball while sitting down. There are certain rules that makes it so that people with disabilities are able to play. For example, since a lot of players don't have the use of their legs, you're not allowed to like lift your butt from the ground when playing. You can use any part of your body to hit the ball. It's actually a really fun time, so hopefully we can start holding practices whenever everything clears up. Okay, so this is wheelchair basketball. It's another adapted sport. These wheelchairs are specifically designed for the sport. As you can see, how the wheels are tilted, that's so their hands don't get injured.
So they don't tip over.
Yeah, so they don't tip over. And then we actually have a couple of wheelchair basketball wheelchairs that we can show you guys once again whenever there's a chance. I don't know why that's on. And here's just a video of wheelchair tennis.
This is actually SDSU's wheelchair tennis team. It's from 2019, so just last year. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio. Okay, that is wheelchair tennis. So those three sports are some of the most common ones that we'll be talking about, and along with track and field. But we just wanted to introduce some of the more popular sports.
Okay, and along with our program, we do have two lovely advisors. We have Dr. Antoinette Domingo, who is an associate professor in the physical therapy program here at San Diego State. She is currently conducting research with stroke patients, spinal cord patients, and adapted athletes. She's been our advisor since she's one of the founders of this club and this program, and she's been involved, obviously ever since it started. And she is quite great. So if you want to reach out to her for research or just for questions in kinesiology in general, she is a great resource. And then our other founder, the main founder, is Paralympian and program director Akio Whitehead. For those of you who don't know, he is a Paralympian, I believe, bronze medalist in a long jump and sprinting. And he is also one of the most friendly people you'll ever meet. Oh, there we go. And so he just became our advisor last year, and he is he's the reason that we have this program. So we are very grateful to Akil, and hopefully he'll show up a couple of our meetings sometime soon. He could not make it today.
Speaking of research, there are a lot of ways to get involved on campus with research, and the Undergraduate Research Committee is working to help get more students that are on the SDSU campus involved in research. So you can go to our website or email us or go to our Instagram page to find more information about the Undergraduate Research Committee and how to potentially get involved with the committee or involved with research on campus.
So this is our website. I really highly recommend stopping by and like kind of checking out the website just for announcements and information. This is what the home screen should look like. If it's not showing that, try refreshing your screen and it should show this cool slideshow and you can scroll down and see the announcements. We have a new Get Involved tab, which we just added, and that has our Zoom link, our past GBMs if you missed one, and it has our GroupMe link so you can join our GroupMe to stay updated on announcements. It has our fall membership requirements for this semester, and it has a feedback Google form if you have any feedback or ideas for us, and you can also join our email list through the website.
So next up, we have our GBM schedule for this fall semester. We have a pretty exciting semester ahead of us. Obviously, today we have our first GBM, our intro GBM, and we have special guest speakers from the AA program and surrounding, which is very, very exciting. Also, for the next 3 upcoming meetings, we have guest speakers who are all para athletes. So we have Roderick Swell Jackson, who is a para swimmer. Oh yes, thanks Peter. A as in adapted athletics. Roderick Swell Jackson, who's a para swimmer but is also a Ironman world champion. So he's completed this triathlon, which is one of the greatest in the world. We have for the one after that, we have Hayden Faith Shepard, who is a para swimmer or aspiring para swimmer, and she'll be talking about her training and her journey in that. And finally, who we have scheduled so far is Bia, I hope, Bia de la Lavallette, and her trainer, which we're so excited for because she's a para rider, as you can see, like an equestrian, and her coach will be joining the meeting with us to give insight on what it's like to train an athlete as well, which is, I'm very, very excited for that. And the other 2 or last ones are to be determined for now, but you should expect some exciting things. And next, outside of our GBMs, we have a few events lined up. We have a movie night coming up very, very soon. We're going to be watching a movie together if you can join us. We have an October game night that's to be announced. Just stay tuned for that. Chipotle fundraiser. Yay. I miss Chipotle. Chipotle fundraiser on November 2nd. We will update on times closer to the date. And if you have any ideas for events, or if you're part of other clubs and you want to collaborate on events or anything like that, we're definitely open to suggestions and collaborations. So let us know.
So for anyone who was in the club last year, we have a point system. So these points will be counted up from when you join to when you graduate. And then if you have 50 points by graduation, you will receive a cord. So we're adjusting our point system a little bit this year because there's going to be less opportunities for getting involved. So GBMs are 2 points, service events are 3 points, and socials are 2 points. Again, 50 points by graduation, and you get a cord, but there's no requirement per semester anymore. And you have to be an active member for these points to count. So any other semester you would have to be a paid member, but we'll be talking about that in the next slide.
So like Remy said, we will not be collecting dues for fall 2020 in order to be considered an active member. So whatever points that you acquire this semester are just going to stay at that. They're going to be your points. However, we will still be collecting donations, $5 to $15, but any amount will help. And then there's our Venmo right there at Aztec Adaptive Sports. And just to let you guys know what dues are used for, we have subscriptions that we have to pay annually, such as our website. There's also like equipment and supplies for events and activities. And then in like other semesters, typically like food for GBMs. And we'll still be giving out some prizes. So the dues are just used to cover those and more.
Okay, so this is an event that we can get involved with here. It's through CAF, which is the Challenged Athletes Foundation. It's a virtual community challenge, and they would like me to show you this video. Let me see. Share. Can you guys see it? Okay, so this event here is kind of like the situation where you get sponsors to sponsor your miles that you run, and then all that money that you raise goes to CAF. And they're doing this because they're unable to do their normal fundraisers like they normally do every year. So if that's something that you'd be interested in participating in, please come talk to us and let us know. I'd like to ask the other e-board members, do you guys think we have time to do our Kahoot, or do you guys want to move on?
I think we can move on for now. We'll save the Kahoot for another time, I think.
Okay.
Now for the main attraction and the best reason we're all here. We have our lovely guest speakers. So we have Coach Steve Baldwin, who is one of our adaptive tennis coaches. AJ Munoz, who is our strength and conditioning coach. He is a graduate student at San Diego State. And we have Tobi. I apologize. Could you tell me how to pronounce your last name, my man?
Yeah, Fawehinmi. So
Fawehinmi. Got it. Okay. Tobi is a friend of Akil and also a Paralympian. And so they're going to be answering just a few quick questions and talking about themselves. But first, in order of how you guys are listed on the slide, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourselves, like introducing yourselves and how you got started in the Paralympic movement?
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Steve Baldwin. I was injured in 1986, so before all of you were born. And I got into tennis about 15 years after that. 10, 15 years after that. And in my very first tournament, I realized that this was something that there was an Olympics for. And it gave me an idea that maybe I could try that. It gave me something to shoot for. And I became pretty focused. And eventually I got there. I mean, that's the short version of it. So yeah, let's find a rhythm. Tobi, how'd you get in?
Man, me, how y'all doing? My name is Tobi Fawehinmi. I'm a two-time Paralympic athlete. For me, my journey was, it started in 2012. By the way, I was born with brachial plexus injury. So that's the severing of the nerves and the veins in one shoulder or neck. So I have a disability in my left arm. But anyways, I'm a track and field athlete. I do the long and the triple jump. It was, long story short, I was at a track meet. I've been competing with able-bodied individuals my whole life, so that's kind of all I really knew. So I was at a track meet. This guy came up to me, handed me a card, and the card read disability sports. Where I was kind of in life was like, I really didn't know there was another world, a completely different world with amazing athletes and superheroes out there. So I kind of just tossed the card. He turned around. I tossed the card because I was like, man, I'm good. I'm good. Later, my coach came up to me at the end of the meet and was like, hey, did somebody give you a card? I was like, no, and I didn't get a card from anybody. Got back to school on Monday. My jumps coach said, hey, somebody handed you a card? I was like, yeah, somebody handed me a card. And she was telling me like, hey, this is the Paralympics. You get to travel the world. You get to compete on big stages, stuff like that. And I was just in disbelief. At this time I was 16. So it just sounded like a fairy tale to me. And then lo and behold, it changed my world, whole 180. Also, I was a Division I athlete at the University of Texas at Arlington on a full ride scholarship. So that's just a little bit about my journey.
All right, Coach AJ.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Coach AJ. Like Peter said, I do the strength and conditioning for the adaptive athletics program here. I gotta say, I'm just super duper happy that you guys are like still a thing. You guys are actually the reason why I got into this whole thing. I came into SDSU as a transfer student years and years ago, and I knew I wanted to do strength and conditioning because I had been previously doing athletic training, and it just wasn't doing it for me. I saw what strength and conditioning could do for athletes to keep them performing highly and keep them not being injured if done properly. But I knew I didn't want to work with just any run-of-the-mill athletes, mostly because of attitudes and just the will to fight. Every athlete's got that, but I would say no more so than a Paralympic or an adaptive athlete has that will to fight and persevere. So actually, I was never an official member of AAS, but I did come to one meeting where Nick Rogers came in to talk to the group. I think this was 3+ years ago now. And he came in, I was thinking to myself, okay, he's an athlete, but he's a Paralympic athlete. So there's going to be a difference. And, I find myself feeling ignorant thinking about that now. But as soon as he walked in, I mean, my jaw hit the floor because I saw this unit of a human being walk in that I had never thought possible. I mean, you could tell he was a sprinter just by him walking in the room, and you would never have known that he was a below the knee amputee on both sides until he kind of took off his legs and showed you. It was an eye-opening moment for me, and I ended up about 6 months ago starting to intern at the Paralympic facility. That happened, I was doing that just before COVID started happening. And I got to work with Nick, and I shook his hand, and I was like, wow, Nick, you coming into that meeting 3 years ago was the reason why I'm here today, shaking your hand and trying to work with you in this capacity. And it was kind of like this like beautiful aha moment for both of us that he had affected somebody that greatly. And I know he's affected more than just myself, but to see that I'm here ready to work just as hard as he is, it was a good moment, and I hope I carry that through to the rest of this program. Just awesome feeling. So thanks, guys, for keep doing what you're doing. I love being a part of this.
Hey, I just wanted to let all of our other GBMers know if you guys have a question you want to ask, you can just shoot it into the chat, and we can ask, or you can ask yourself.
For sure. Okay, so some of you guys already kind of touched on this a little bit, but what would Coach Baldwin, if you would like to start, what excites you most about the SDSU Adapted Athletics program, and why are adapted athletics programs so important in or collegiate programs so important in the Paralympic movement?
Disabled sports in the U.S. is pretty good about identifying kids, and this is especially true in tennis, but I think it's, except for some basketball, it's what I'm going to say is pretty general. And we're pretty good at identifying kids and getting them in programs and getting them kind of identified as potential athletes. But for most kids, as they move up through college, there's no real way to continue performing at any kind of high level and go to college. Those things don't mix because the programs just generally don't exist. So is a really good case right now. The number one U.S. woman is named Dana Mathewson. She's from San Diego, and she was really coming up as a strong junior. But then she turned 18, and she's like, "What am I going to do?" Well, you don't tell a kid, "Hey, it'd be great if you pursued tennis more, but don't go to college." So what she did, she ended up quitting tennis for like 4 years, getting a degree. But that's 4 years of training. That's 4 years of, prime athletic time, where she was forced to make a decision. Nobody begrudges the decision she made. Of course, she wants to, prepare herself for, a full adult life, right? But wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to make kids make that decision? And that's what excites me the most about our program at San Diego State, is that we're creating an opportunity for disabled athletes to combine, an education and an athletic experience. And it's not a recreational athletic experience. This is work. I mean, this is pushing towards high level athletic achievement. And that to me is the most exciting part, is that once these two things kind of merge together, you create an environment in a community where you can foster growth, not just athletic growth, so that's certainly part of it, and not just academic growth, so that's certainly part of it. You make a culture where a disabled athlete comes in and they find people like them. They find a place that values them and encourages them, and they don't have to make excuses or find time to pursue this thing outside of their regular life. This is their regular life. Every athlete will tell you that if they don't have it, they miss it. They miss it bad. Well, that's what we get here. We finally get a place where those two things don't have to be separated. That to me is the best part about it.
All right, thank you. Tobi, if you would like to weigh in. And also, if you don't mind me asking, you competed against able-bodied athletes in college, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, Steve really just took it all. I really don't have a lot to say anymore. But
I feel pretty strongly about that.
Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good, making it easy. But man, what opportunity, the chance. Everybody just wants a chance. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of who you are, what kind of disability you have, and to be able to say I'm a part of something bigger than myself and also at a higher competitive level means everything to these individuals. Because like he was saying, you may have an athlete that was a stud coming out of high school, and then because there's no opportunity for them to continue to build that foundation and build that platform, it hurts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody knows how it feels until it's gone. You don't know what's good for you till it's gone. So kind of for me, I was blessed with the opportunity to get a scholarship to the University of Texas at Arlington and compete on the able-bodied side. I was a indoor triple jump champion as well, competing with these guys, but kind of going through like my time on the adaptive side, I've got to meet and like put on a lot of other athletes to adaptive sports, to the Paralympics, because if it wasn't for the individual who found me, I wouldn't be where I am today. So to have an organization like you guys have means a lot, because you are literally building a foundation for those little children to look. They have something to look forward to now. You know what I'm saying? Like they literally have an opportunity to say, hey, mom, I'm going to college on scholarship to do the thing that I love. You know what I'm saying? And it's not only about like, okay, I have the opportunity to still do my sport, but it's an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to find more about yourself, because through all of everything that y'all are doing right now, it's helping them figure out who they are day by day, challenging putting things, reaching higher heights, goals that they want to go to. So, I mean, this is big. Like, I applaud Akil. I talk to Akil all the time. That's my guy. I met him in 2012. And since then, man, he's had a vision, you know what I'm saying, to do the things that, like, help all these athletes have something to look forward to. So, I mean, this is crazy. This is good.
Thank you very much. Very well put. Coach AJ, do you have maybe a non-athlete perspective on what makes adaptive athletics programs so good?
Yeah, man, awesome. I'm glad you put it that way, because that's exactly what I think. The only thing I can bring when I'm compared to these two guys. They have so much knowledge about the space itself, which is something I never will have hands-on about. I'll always be trying. You know that, Coach Steve. I'll always be trying. But I think the two things that really excite me about this program, one is the opportunity and potential for growth, and the geographic placement of the SDSU Adapted Athletics program. The opportunity for growth, for me, that's lateral and vertical. Not only can we become the absolute powerhouses in the sports that we already offer, right? Ambulatory track and field and wheelchair tennis. We're well on our way to becoming the best at that in the nation, hopefully in the world someday. And laterally, what I mean by that is diversifying and getting these new programs coming in. Wheelchair basketball, let's get crazy. Maybe some combat sports in there, right? Wheelchair racing. I've got a guy that he wants to become the first. He wants to become the first amputee boxer to win a title and win the Olympics, because there's no Paralympics for boxing, but win the Olympics for boxing. And that's an amazing goal, and I look forward to helping him get there. So diversifying what we have from what we have already, making what we have right now that much better. And then what I mean by our placement geographically, it's so awesome that we are the first to be on the West Coast here. And not only that, but we're surrounded by a lot of high schools with a lot of athletes. We've got one of the CAF headquarters right here in San Diego, right? Challenge Athlete Foundation. We've got the Chula Vista Elite Athlete Training Center, formerly known as the Olympic Training Center and Paralympic Training Center, right there in Chula Vista, right? Like, that's a recipe for success right there, in my opinion. And it excites me to think about what we can accomplish and where we can take these kids later on down the road. That's what I'm excited about.
All right. Does anyone else feel a little inspired right now? Just a little bit? No? Me? All right. Okay, next question. What changes would you guys like to see in the adaptive sports / Paralympic space in like the next 5 years? Like, what would you like to see improve?
For me, a lot of what we're talking about is that kind of the link from identifying kids, but having an infrastructure that fosters their growth. That's the main thing to me. And collegiate's always been kind of the missing link, what we were talking about. Obviously, we all want lives to get back to normal. I think that'd be the greatest change to the situation, but that's universal. Because we all want to get back to doing what we do, right? I mean, doing the work that we do. But for me, that's the biggest one. There's this long, slow progress, where you see each 4-year cycle, you see a little more Paralympics, you see a little more exposure, you see, an athlete in a commercial, even if it's just a millisecond. You see, there's more and more and more of that. And sometimes it's hard to remember, that the long game for the Paralympics has been going on since the 40s. The first Paralympics was in 1948, I think. But every cycle, has it exposed a little more. And the more so I guess I still want us to get complacent. The more we push, the more we create things like this, the broader it's going to get. And the more people are going to be, oh, actually, I know somebody. Sorry, somebody called me.
Okay.
That's to me the best thing is the change isn't, I don't want to change something radical. I just want us to pour like our energy into the structures that we're creating, because we finally have structures. You know, most of my life as a disabled person, I was in the weeds, you know, like literally trying to figure it out on my own from day to day. And to have organizations like this make it possible, like Toby said, you know, you can point a kid towards it and be like, that's where you go. Oh, that was easy. That's so much better. And I want to change it. I just want to pour our energy into the things we're making.
Toby, your thoughts?
Yeah, man. Shoot, Steve, you got it. I also like to add just kind of the same thing, more so just equal opportunity for these individuals that want to chase those dreams and have those aspirations to be on those big stages. And it's not because here's one thing that just as a human being, you have to realize, even on the Paralympic side or even the Olympic side, not everybody is going to be an Olympian. Not everybody is going to be a Paralympian. But to just have that chance and that opportunity to train as hard as you can and have the resources to even get to those certain levels will mean everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's the change that we want to see. That's the thing that y'all are that we're all pushing towards, that we're all fighting for. And kind of like John said, Steve said as well, it's kind of like we have like the Paralympics on its own has been fighting for that public eye for a very long time. He talked about those 4 cycles, and you get to see a little bit more and a little bit more. And then you know that kid from your town who got to be on the newspaper, or that kid that got to be on so-and-so. So it's like to have this opportunity to just want to see change is what we want to see. You know what I'm saying? Just a chance. That's all we ask for. That's all we want. An opportunity to say, okay, I'm able to step on this big stage and compete at this high level, and hold that to, you would hold that to a very high standard for you and everybody else around you. So I'll just say, yeah, the chance for just opportunity.
All right. Coach AJ, your thoughts?
Yeah, so definitely along the same lines as them. I'd love to see more exposure. I don't know if you guys are planning for that movie night of yours that you said you were planning later on down the road, but if you want to watch, what was it? Rising Phoenix. Oh my God, man, that movie was good. That movie was fire.
Fire.
Yeah, that was a good. I mean, just the filming and everything, man. They did such a great job bringing all those stories together. Like that's the kind of exposure we need to start turning people's heads and really get them to pay attention to what's going on in this space. The only other thing that I would want to say is I really like the idea. What I would like to see is people that are working in this space come together from across, like say, like University of Alabama, University of Arizona, those high level areas where athletes are coming from. I want to see the trainers and the coaches coming together to share ideas more. I think there's only good things that can come from that, and only growth that can come from that. The only problem is that people don't like to share their secret sauce. But I mean, end of the day, there's no sauce that's worth being kept secret right now, because we're not there yet. You know, we need to keep pushing and making something great, and then we can make some secret sauce out of it, I think. But yeah, that's so true for any athletic space. I think people try to keep what they do under wraps because it's their thing. But the more we share those ideas, just the better we're all going to become around, I think, right?
All right. And lastly, just to end on a slightly less serious note, if you guys have a funny story you'd like to share about Akil, he requested that you guys do that.
I have a favorite because it's when I met him. I met Akil on the plane home from Rio in 2016, coming home from the Paralympics. We were sitting next to each other on the flight from Houston, and he was on fire. He was saying, we need an adaptive sports program on the West Coast. Can you believe there's not one? And he was into it. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And I started talking to him about wheelchair tennis. I thought that'd be a great idea. And we talked for 3 hours. And when it was over, we get off the plane, and I thought, like many conversations I've had on planes, that was awesome. I'm never going to hear from that guy again. But 6 months later, I get a phone call. Hey, Steve, remember me? It's Akil. We're putting together this thing. Oh, so I show up. That was fun. A few months later, hey, Akil, or he calls me, hey, Steve, it's Akil. Around this time, he started to call me coach. He's never called me anything but coach in the last 3 years. He knew I was his coach long before I knew I was his coach. And he's got that energy. He's got that desire and that drive and that optimism, and that we're going to make this thing. And he's one of the most remarkable, I get to say it because I'm old, he's one of the most remarkable young men I've ever been around.
All right. Yeah. I think you'd be happy to hear that story. Tobi, do you have any fun ones?
Yeah, I don't think I have a a real funny story, but I do have some very kind words. I've been knowing Akil since I was 16. I was in 2012. I'm 24 now, and bro, this guy he's different. Now, that's probably the one word I can really just describe him as, is different, because knowing who he is, his energy, his drive, his passion, what he brings to the table has always been top tier. And like, if you ever meet him, like, the first thing you know is like, yo, this dude is really always happy. He's always smiling, like 24/7. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Akil down before. And then, I mean, even those times, 2012 through 16 through 17, and just all our Paralympic adventures and trials and stuff like that, like, the dude has always brought the energy to the room. He always brings the room, and he has a kind heart. So you can't get over somebody who just genuinely cares for you. It's like when you meet somebody who, it's like, sometimes you meet people and they're strictly about like the business. This guy is more so about what are you like bringing to the table as a person, and how can I help you grow? You know what I'm saying? So that's all love to Akil, and I appreciate him for real.
For real. AJ, any kind words?
I mean, I guess it's not like a super funny story, but I thought it was pretty funny. Last year when we had a dinner over at his place, first of all, his mom is an amazing chef. Like, oh my God. She cooked up, wow, that was a feast. Like, wow. I mean, that chicken, I thought it was straight out of Cane's, to be honest with you. She said she made it herself. I don't know if I believe it. But he's like, hey, coach, I want to show you something real quick. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? He takes me to this room. He opens up this room. It's like their man cave. And it's like all like Run DMC, and his dad was a part of this like real badass hip hop group back in the day. I can't remember the name of it. And his dad's got, trophies and signed memorabilia, and like, I mean, probably the most shoes that I have ever seen a grown man own in my entire life was in that room. And it was just such a vibe, man. There were so many things in there that were probably priceless. And I thought that was a pretty cool memory to remember. He said, hey, anytime you are in Chula Vista, come on down, let's hang out, we'll kick it in the man cave, we'll have a good time. Like, oh man, I'm down, I love it. Thank you.
Oh man, I'm jealous.
But just yeah, right. And just real quick, guys, I really appreciate your time. I have to head out. I'm actually training an adaptive surfer in a few minutes. Her name is Quinn Whaley. Look her up if you have time. She's pretty cool. And I will talk to you guys again, man. Thank you so much, everybody, for what you do here. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for coming, AJ. Appreciate it, man. Have a good time, man. All right, that's all the questions that we've prepared. Does anybody else from the Peanut Gallery have anything to ask our two remaining guest speakers?
There's a question in the chat, Peter, if you want to ask that one.
Oh yeah, Tobi, are you training for the 2021 games?
Oh yeah, for sure. The grind hasn't stopped. We're still going strong. Corona's been definitely a time where it's like, you just really you kind of question everything. Like, yo, what am I supposed to do right now? But the crazy thing is, during this whole time, it has allowed me to be way more adaptive, like to figure stuff out on my own and be able to say, okay, well, if I can't be on the track right now, what else can I do? I can do at-home workouts. I can go find a hill. I can find Nike training app. I can use YouTube. Everybody knows YouTube is the answer for everything. So like, it has really allowed me to just say, okay, you can sit back, kind of analyze and scan what you have in front of you and make the best out of it. So yeah, I've been working hard. I'm working really hard. I'm in Texas right now, but I live in Chula at the Olympic Training Center. So yeah, it's been a grind. So yeah, that's 2021 is the goal.
Awesome, man. Good luck with that.
Later.
Any other questions? No, going once, going twice. Okay, Madeline, I think we can move on a little bit. Thank you guys for speaking, by the way. I really appreciate it. You guys have been doing a great job. We appreciate your words.
Great. Thanks for the platform, man. We're always eager to spread the word, right?
Sir.
Yeah. We're glad to have you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Madeline, anything else?
Hear me? Hear me?
You're very faint.
Sorry. I don't know what's happening. Can you guys hear? Can you hear us? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
a little bit.
Okay. Sorry about that. Do the guest speakers have anything they'd like to add before we head back into our GBM slides? Nope.
All right, well, thank you guys
Okay,
so
thank
much.
you guys for coming. We're gonna just finish up our slides here.
All right, I'm out.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
All right,
Thank
y'all.
Thank you, Coach Steve. Thank you, Toby.
I'll say
See you
bless,
guys
man.
later.
All right.
Okay. Alrighty, can you guys see my screen? Is this mine?
Okay. Yeah, that was an amazing speaking panel. That was really, really cool. But going back to the slides where we have a little promo deal kind of situation. Recruit one, receive one. If you bring someone to our next meeting, you guys both get a free t-shirt. Woo! We love free things. Oh, that's I like that.
Yeah, this is the shirt right here, you guys.
Oh my god, I've never seen this shirt, but yeah, you get that shirt. Super cute. 10 out of 10 quality experience, would highly recommend. Yeah, so bring someone over to our next GBM. We have another guest speaker. You guys can go get a shirt. It's a good time. So yeah, if you're around San Diego or on campus, you can pick up the shirts from us. Or, you know, it is kind of on campus, but not on campus right now. So in a safe social distance environment, you can go get your shirts and do it soon, because I don't know how many shirts we have, and I'm pretty sure you want one. So see you at the next meeting.
All right, so yeah, like Harari said, we are a small org, so we do rely on word of mouth and inviting your friends to GBMs. And so if you could all spread the word and let all your friends know that we're expecting some really cool guest speakers in the coming weeks, that would be very helpful to us, and a very cool experience. Does anyone have any questions for us? If you do also and you don't want to ask, you can go ahead and throw those in the chat. Nope. Okay. Well, that is all we have.